Guys, as my loyal subscribers, I think we're at that point in our relationship where we can start finally having some real talk time. So I think that's what we're gonna do today. Stay tuned.
Anyway, talking about they got all the help. Fire
We can tell
when I see him. When I get back to Houston, we'll cuss his ass out.
Good morning, guys. I just wanted to give you a recap on what happened yesterday. When I got into town, I quickly found out that a lot of the major organizations, volunteer groups, had taken care of the immediate need of Houstonians that were displaced or affected in some way by Hurricane Harvey. But a lot of the areas surrounding Houston, such as Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange, Texas, they have not received as much help yet, and they were equally as devastated. And so we took our truck full of stuff over to Beaumont yesterday to help out with the situation over there. Once we got there, I kid you not, in a matter of 30 minutes, the entire truck, everything that we had on that first load was gone. Clothes, food, household essentials, water. Water was a big thing. It just flew right off the truck. So we made a second trip to Walmart yesterday and got another 130 cases of water, filled up the truck bed and the trailer that we have. And I believe the plan is to go back again today. We're stopping by Sam's Club and picking up more stuff. And I believe we have a second truck following us today to go back into Beaumont. So if you guys are still able to give, haven't been able to give yet, go ahead and send your donations to Dylan or Trent or to that Fundly page that's in my Instagram bio. That's where they're pulling funds from to make all of these supply runs and things like that. We really appreciate it, guys. There's a lot of people that are still in need out there, and you guys are doing so much to help them out. For those of you that have, sent me here with clothes, I appreciate it. The people over there obviously appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Keep doing what you're doing. You guys are great. What's up, YouTube? Thanks for tuning in again. This is my second installment of story time, and it's gonna be a good one. As you can see, I'm wearing my Texans jersey. More specifically, it's my JJ Watt jersey, and that's gonna tie into the story perfectly today. I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to keep this t-shirt story theme going, but I'm gonna try to do it for as long as I can. But okay, so we're gonna talk about Hurricane Harvey. No, I was not home when that happened. I don't live in Houston currently, but watching everything unravel on the news, keeping in touch with my family and friends, it was terrifying not being there. I felt really disconnected even though I was watching the news 24/7 and getting all these updates sent to my phone about mandatory evacuations and levee openings and just roads closing left and right. So the interesting thing about my family that was going on at the time, my dad was out of the country, so my mom was home alone taking care of my brother, and that was obviously particularly difficult. My parents are a team when it comes to taking care of my brother who has special needs, and obviously in the middle of what is looking to be a catastrophic storm, you don't want your family to be separated, but then on top of that, my mom is on her own, taking care of the house and my dog and my brother, and it's just kind of a mess at this point. Did wind up evacuating, and just by the grace of God, they were okay. The house was fine. Our area wasn't touched, but literally just maybe not even a half a mile away, houses were affected, and that I think that's just crazy. I just think we were super blessed, super lucky to not have to worry about any damage to our house. Seeing all of this, I felt like I was supposed to do something. I didn't know what, I didn't know how, but I got on social media like the rest of us did, and I started seeing people, come together, helping each other out. I really have to say thank you to all of our first responders, law enforcement, people that came from all over the country to help out rescue people from their homes that, you know, didn't evacuate in time. They got flooded in, and, you know, people were being pulled off of rooftops or taken out of their attic or their second story in their home, and they were just being put on boats, like little rowboats or kayaks, and their stuff was in another boat. And this was all just neighbors helping neighbors, on top of what law enforcement was doing. And it's crazy to me to think that we were even put in a situation for that to happen, but it was awesome to see people stepping up and helping out their neighbors who were in need. Another thing that I saw on social media, and I'm gonna embarrass the crap out of Dylan in this video probably, but I saw a link, or I saw an Instagram post that he posted, obviously, about starting a Fundly page for Hurricane Harvey, and what he was going to do with the money. Him and his brother, and, you know, a team of other guys that he was working with, they were going to distribute the supplies themselves to people they needed. And Dylan basically, you know, donated his social media platform to getting the message out of people who could help, people who needed help. And he started reaching out to people who did need help, that couldn't leave the house, you know, that had kids that needed food, that were running out of supplies. And he took the initiative to set up that Fundly page, and that was extremely inspiring to me, to see. I was all the way in Lubbock, but I trusted Dylan, and I had no problem sending him money, because that's, at that time, that's all that I felt that I could do. But Labor Day weekend was coming up, and I knew I had that, that Monday off. So I felt really compelled to go down there and help myself, because this is home. These streets that they're showing on the news, they weren't just places that I had to imagine how it might have looked before. I knew how these places looked before, and it was just really painful to kind of see some of the damage that came as a result of Hurricane Harvey. So I got into contact with my Lubbock family, everyone that is out here that I know, and I told them, hey, look, I'm driving down this weekend. Yes, my family's fine, everyone's good, but I really want to go down there and help people who are in need. So let's, you know, if you guys have any extra clothes or any items that you think, you know, you might be willing to part with that they could use over there, I'll be more than willing to meet up with you before I leave. And I have to shout out my Lubbock family so much, because they came through. My car was completely full, like front seat, back seat, trunk, like everything was stacked so high I could barely see my rear view mirror from that, on that 9-hour drive from Lubbock to Houston. And it was just unreal, like that outpouring of love that came really in maybe like 48 hours of notice. But it was amazing to see that kind of support coming all the way from West Texas. That Friday, I made the drive back down, and Saturday I get to Houston, and we realized that all the shelters were full and were no longer taking volunteers and no longer needed supplies, which is a great problem to have. I have to commend the city of Houston for stepping up to help our neighbors out the way that they did. Having too many volunteers and having a surplus of supplies is amazing. But Dylan knew that there were other people out there that had not been reached. So he decided that he wanted our group of people to go to Beaumont, where there were still people that needed help, where water was not receding as quickly. And so we took one pickup truck. Our friend Christo was so generous, and he, you know, let us use his truck, drove the whole time, and we got a trailer. We loaded up the back of the truck with all the clothes that I brought from Lubbock, and it was full. And the back seat, we had like bread, and in the actual trailer part, we had cases and cases of water. I think all in all, it was over 6,000 bottles of water that was distributed. But we got to Beaumont that day. We just nobody really knew when we were coming. Dylan had a friend that he got into contact with that helped spread the word to folks out there, and we just pulled into a parking lot with all of our supplies. There was a Salvation Army truck that was also passing out some supplies, but they, you know, were running out of stuff as well. We pulled in, and before we knew it, there was a line of people just, you know, needing, you know, anything that we really could give them. And we just started going one by one, started loading up. Each family got a case or two of water, some bread, and, you know, we sent them on their way. The clothes went to a church that was acting as a shelter so they could, you know, more easily distribute the clothes. But we cleared out our first truckload full of supplies in under an hour. That is insane to me. Like, no, we didn't, there was no real announcement. Nobody really knew we were coming. It was kind of last minute. And we were just in a parking lot, and people were just coming to us. And it was just, you could just see the gratitude. You could just see that there was a tremendous need. And we decided that we were gonna make another run to the nearest stocked Walmart to pick up more supplies, which was almost an hour away. And we called them up because curfew was in effect, and they closed at 6, and we barely had enough time to get over there. We talked to the manager. We told them what we were trying to do, and we just really asked them, you know, hey, can you guys stay open for us? And the manager agreed to keep open. So that's what we did. We loaded up the truck one more time, and we went back, and we cleared out the truck for a second time. That night, we drove back to Houston, stayed the night, and we knew we were going back on Sunday. So we made another Sam's Club run, got more bread, peanut butter. We had some hygiene supplies this time, and of course more water. We got back to that same parking lot where we were at, and the same thing happened. It was crazy. Like, everything was just flying off the truck. Even the new stuff that we brought that, you know, we thought maybe people aren't gonna really need this, but they did. Ultimately, the reason why I share all of that is absolutely not to pat myself on the back, but it's for me, it was the first time that I realized that one person can actually make a difference. I'm so proud of Dylan for stepping up the way that he did. He did not have to step away from work or, you know, donate his social media platform the way that he did. But because of him, so many people that may not have been helped otherwise were helped. And I think that's amazing, to use the influence that you have, use what you're given for, you know, to bless other people. And I think that's ultimately what it's all about, just to be a neighbor to the people around us, to be a good neighbor. You know, I think anyone could have easily just been like, oh, we'll just, you know, leave the supplies somewhere, or, you know, leave it at a church, someone will pass it out. But, you know, Dylan went above and beyond, and his team went above and beyond. Trent, CA, Cody, Christo, everybody that was out there with us, they gave up their time to see what was going on firsthand and interact with the people. It wasn't just simply like, here, take this and go. We got a little bit of time to talk to some of these people, and just, you know, some of them were saying, oh, we have like 10 people in our house, and they were taking multiple cases of water. And like, once we understood that, it was super, I don't know, it was just super humbling to me to be there and to witness all of that. And also JJ Watt, oh my gosh, I think he raised like $28 million ultimately, and his goal was $1 million. But his sphere of influence, he used that to raise the amount of money that he did, get semi-trucks and a warehouse, and, you know, pass out all these supplies to people that needed it in Houston. And he stepped up for the city, as well as several other celebrities. But his story was just particularly amazing because he wasn't working with any other organization. He was totally independent. He collected the funds himself, got all the supplies, distributed them with the volunteers that he had organized. And I think it's amazing for a professional athlete of his caliber to do what he did. I just have to commend him, and I've never been more proud to wear this jersey in my life, but this guy, like, he's my hero. He's awesome. I love him. But yeah, guys, I hope what you take from this is that you can make a difference. Is that you just stepping out of your comfort zone to go the extra mile to check on someone that needs you, that seems like they're not okay. It can make a world of difference. You just never know. You just have to go out on a limb sometimes, and sometimes your help may not be wanted or well received, but that's just the risk you have to take. And sometimes you will take the initiative to do something and people will just talk about you just to talk about you, but that's never the reason why we do something. It's never to make other people happy. It's always to do the right thing, to serve people and to love people. Man, if you always wait on, or think about, oh, what are other people going to think of me, how are they going to judge and assess the situation, you're never going to get anything done in life. Whether it's going to grad school, whether it's the career that you've picked for yourself, whether it's who you choose to hang out with, no matter how great they seem, people are always going to have something to say. People like to run their mouths. It's human nature. Forget about it. Live your life. My biggest thing is, obviously you don't need to care about what other people think, but I'm all about, reaching for a higher standard of excellence. Do more than what is expected of you. Do more for others and think less of yourself, obviously, is a better way to, approach serving your community, especially in times of crisis like this. But even when there isn't crisis, even when things seem to be going smoothly, people are struggling. People are constantly in need of help, whether it's, can I, give you something physical, material, monetary, or whether it's emotional help. And sometimes being there for somebody while they're going through an emotional crisis is more difficult than, just giving them like $20 for their, trouble. I feel like this whole experience has really reshaped my perception of what I'm able to do, of how I'm able to serve others. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in for another Storytime segment. I really appreciate it. I'm sure I'll have plenty more of these stories to share with you in the near future. Just stay tuned. And if you guys enjoyed it, go ahead, like, comment, and of course, subscribe to the channel. Share this video with your friends. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Bye.